Still don't really know how Emilio fits into this, do we?
So they chased me for miles. Good thing I had the Harley.
God is good.
Yeah, vanity works too.
It's time we talked about the temple. We must reach the Holy of Holies before midnight.
The temple?
It's a sex thing?
I've been trying to tell you. Sydney helped me find it.
There will be traps to keep out the uninitiated.
He means those who are not initiated into the mysteries.
Gabe's read a lot of mysteries, haven't you, bud?
No, my friend. The hermetical mysteries. This is why Mesme must go with you. I would go, but I dare not risk it while the adepts are down there.
I'd like to go.
I was hoping you would stay here with me, Grace. We can use Mesme's radio to stay in contact with the others. They may need some of your computer expertise.
But...
3. 3 is the number that will best protect the group. Myself, Gabriel, and... I believe Mr. Mosley is a trained police officer?
Hell yeah, I'll go. I got a gun in my room. But, there aren't really any vampires down there. Are there?
A few. If I know Montreux, he will admit only his most trusted allies tonight. For such a prize as the baby, he might be challenged. His kind are not known for their loyalty.
Yikes.
what about the treasure?
God willing, we must remove it to safer keeping.
Wait a minute. This is about the kid. I'm not putting my butt on the line so you guys can get rich.
It's not what you think.
I assure you, the baby is the first priority for us all.
Just don't get too far ahead of me, bucko. Now let's see that map.
It's the second mention we've heard that Emilio is like afraid of going somewhere.
Yeah, what's his deal?
What is his deal?
She said it was... Yep, she was right.
Whoa.
Here goes nothing.
Be careful.
This is the spot that Le Serpent Rouge points to. Oh well, we died.
Bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a slide.
I didn't find that voice work very good.
No.
Was that really necessary?
Stop whining. Look at this place.
Wait, everything here could be a trap.
What? You want to lead?
No, just be wary. Mosley and I will follow.
Sounds
Oh,
good
there
to
do
me.
seem to be symbols on
Great.
the floor.
I hate this part so much. It's a silly chess puzzle.
We're in this big room. The floor reminds me of the floor in the church. Black and white tiles. Mean anything to you?
Why are you
Yes.
yelling?
It's a chessboard.
Yeah, so there's a new menu item on our right-click menu where we can talk to Grace.
that floor and over to one of those doors somehow.
She also appears on the left-click menu for some things.
Those might have something to do with the shapes on Grace's map.
I've never found Grace to be helpful on any of those things.
I have to get across that floor and over
to one of
those doors somehow.
Now,
But which one and how?
Some of the tiles have skulls on them. I don't think that's a good thing.
and yes.
Any
which-
more tidbits on the chessboard thing?
How big is it?
I'm about the size of a playing piece in relation to it.
Then maybe you should act like one.
It's not really clear which one we're supposed to act like, but okay.
Probably the most annoying one, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, it's a knight. So you can start on any square that's on that first row, and you have to, as soon as you step onto it though, you may as well step onto, oh yeah, you have to actually click the walk icon. As soon as you step on, it activates, and now you have to move like a knight, and you have to hit all of the lit swords,
Oh my god, pain in the ass.
and you have to end adjacent to the door that's going to open, and you have to know which door that is, which is the black door with the circle on it that's toward the middle.
This is super irritating.
So I think there might be more than one way to do this, but you really should just look up a solution. So yes, I thought this was completely unnecessary, busy work. if you sit down and work it out, you'll find a path that meets all of those variables. Obviously, you can't go onto any of the skull spaces, and you cannot go onto a spot that you have been before. So the tiles that you're on, like that one, will disappear when you jump off, making you think that maybe you can jump onto one of the sword spaces that's darkened, because it did not disappear. And that is incorrect.
Awesome.
If you jump onto a square that is unlit, it will immediately fall through the floor and you will die. So, yeah. So there's a few mysteries that we haven't solved. I'm assuming that Montreux was the leader of the blood cult in Jesus's time. I don't know when he developed his French accent. It seems that Emilio specifically is not just afraid for his life, but is afraid of the vampires specifically. That is, he is afraid to be around them physically because of something that would happen. Maybe it just refers to his death. But we actually heard a different clue that Mesme said to him. And I would note that Mesme does not think very highly of Emilio, and yet he bowed to him anyway, saying that a part of him deserved to be bowed to, which is interesting. Perhaps. I don't think that Dr. Wen really figures into this whole thing. It sounds like he did find some Egyptian artifacts. Maybe they're related to this. But Estelle and Lady Howard did not come particularly close to discovering this place.
Hey, I got one open.
Excellent, Mr. Knight. Keep moving. We'll be right behind you.
Be careful, bud.
How will you be right behind me? Does this thing reset?
Do that hopping?
Okay, now
So
this
much for
fucking part.
safety in numbers. And a pendulum. Gee, wonderful.
Okay, so the
I could ask her what to do about a 50-pound blade that's ready to slice me like a hunk of salami, but why should we both be scared shitless?
So you might think that this is actually pretty hard to die on because the blade only intersects a small area of this. But in fact, I found it quite easy to die here.
Excellent.
You're probably going to do this by trial and error. You want to wait until the circle icon shows up and then jump onto the tile right after that. And if you do that, it will take you around, and I think that the thing swings directly onto the circle. So if you're standing on circle, you're dead. I also believe Gabriel will only jump onto the center of one of these spots, so it's not like you have any granularity. So I'm going to jump off here. And now what you need to do here is you need to grab onto that pendulum without dying. So it's pretty easy to die, but I did it correctly there. And now actually the harder part is landing on this platform. You need to wait until he does one full swing, and then almost as soon as you get that icon.
I'm starting to really hate this place.
And now the pendulum stops directly over us.
Great.
Because we will die.
Gracie, can you give me a rundown on the meaning of the circle?
It represents eternity, fertility, and perfection.
Okay.
Okay, fertility and infinity are an egg and the infinity symbol. But what about perfection? Which one of those thingies would you say is perfection?
I don't know. Let's look at him again.
I could ask her what
Is
to do
that
about
hexagon
50-pound
supposed to
blade
be a
that's ready to
sphere?
Slice me like a hunk of salami.
Hey!
Why should we both be scared shitless?
There's a bug in the audio.
Works for me.
His voice continues while you do that. I believe that was a pomegranate, but I don't know why that represents perfection. I just never figured
I don't
that
hear
out.
anything. Just walking.
Because
There's
pomegranates are
something I've been
yummy,
wondering.
but a pain in the
I
ass
read
to
about
eat.
the vampires looking for the wandering Jew.
I've never had a
He really
pomegranate.
exists, doesn't he? And it has something to do with the blood of Jesus?
Yes, Grace.
But it's not the way the legends claim, is it? Jesus cursing someone to go on.
No.
The vampires didn't get the blood of Jesus, but someone else did.
Ah, yes. Ali, the headmaster's son, was among those who accompanied Jesus back to Jerusalem. For 3 years he watched Jesus teach. It was, well, amazing. But in the end, neither he nor his father could stop Jesus from his course. The day of the crucifixion, Ali's father was so ill with grief that he had to be carried from Golgotha. Only Ali was left to keep vigil. Ali could not believe it was ending. All the promise of the Kanosh Kanaya, all the centuries of planning were being destroyed. Jesus was allowing it to be destroyed. Something in him rebelled. He remembered Sine's words, and in his grief and rage, he thought he might be able to save the blood in himself. He did not mean to become the Kanosh Kanaya. You must understand that. He simply could not watch that hope spill into the ground. So he drank it.
Gross.
Why hast thou forsaken me?
Your fingertips are worn smooth, but I don't get it. If you've got the power of the Kanosh Kanaya, why didn't you stop the vampires a long time ago?
I promised my father I would not use the power. Never. Not for anything. It is not mine to use. It was the only way I could live with what I had done.
Never? Not for anything?
No, Grace. Not for anything.
But that must be...
It is all right. There is work to be done. Do you hear anything now?
It's a pretty anti-humanist thing to promise that you're never going to help anybody.
Damn it! Can we stop with the falling stuff already?
I find this segment to be very opaque.
Hey, Gracie, I've just entered a new area, and there's a statue of Solomon here. Ring any bells?
It's probably going to deal with the hexagram, the seal of Solomon. Hexagrams represent duality. Light and dark, good and evil, you know, that kind of thing. Hold on. Right. Emilio says initiates are taught that duality is an illusion. So be careful. Things might not be what they appear.
Great. Thanks.
What that means
Boy,
is
that was helpful.
choose the opposite of what you think makes sense.
Grace says King Solomon is linked to the hexagram.
Right.
Too bad he's not known for his mercy instead of his wisdom. I could use a break here.
There's a little bit of Latin here,
Guess I gotta figure out what that says.
Might help you.
so we can use the grace icon.
Grace, I need a translation. I think it's Latin. Pentum initiantibus sacrarum signi superesse licet.
Okay, let me see. It means... Beware, only the initiates of the mysteries of the seal may survive. Is everything going okay?
Piece of cake.
Yeah, that's strange because it seemed like the deadlier parts we've already passed. Well, I think that little story gave us a few of the details that we didn't have. So Emilio is the wandering Jew. He drank Jesus's blood. And that's what he's scared of being around the vampires for, because if they drink his blood, then everyone's really screwed.
More Latin.
Right.
The Rex Mundi thing
Gracie,
will happen.
what does elige unum mean?
Emilio says it means choose one.
Okay, so there's a rock in fire.
I could be mistaken, but that sure looks a lot like fire.
Is that supposed to be sarcastic?
It looks like water.
Well, I guess we need to plunge our
I
hand
don't
into
smell
some
anything.
fire.
Yeah, there's a rock in the bottom of both of these, and you might
There's
think
a stone at the bottom.
that you should take the water one
There's a stone at the
because
bottom.
that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know what's keeping this fire alive. I guess it's like Jesus magic or something. And now there are two gloves, which say choose one.
Choose one. Funny. I don't think that's as simple as it sounds.
Now, I don't see what a gold glove would get us.
It seems
That one's pretty hip.
conductive.
I wonder if that's real gold.
That's right. So it wouldn't help us with fire, and it also
Not
wouldn't help us
exactly
with water.
something you'd wear to the opera.
It's a leather glove, I believe. Over here, it says choose a master, I think.
This guy looks earthy and dangerous.
The devil. and the angel, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure which of these two I like the least. This one looks like he should be blocking the Garden of Eden.
So,
I think I don't know what to think anymore.
there's nothing really on that placard. We can get a translation if we don't know what it means.
Grace, can you translate elige magistrum?
Hold on. Yeah, it means choose a master.
Thanks.
So, the angel would be the obvious choice.
So we're
That was
still operating
so
in
helpful
Bizarro
the
World.
first time. I think I'd rather wing it.
Yeah, it's Bizarro World.
Great.
So,
We have to go get a rock, right? Do we give it to one of them?
and we give it to one of them. So gold doesn't seem to help us. We'll get the leather glove, and we'll take the one in the fire. Does this puzzle make sense to you? I've done it a bunch of times, but I don't think I ever saw anything that made me think, oh, that makes sense.
Well,
Other than him saying, by the way, I think wouldn't that burn his arm?
yeah, he's down a few arm hairs.
All right. I don't. That rock would be extremely hot.
Maybe it's a magical glove.
And he just takes the glove off right away and handles the rock. I think it would be hot for longer than that, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to give it to one of these guys. It's the devil
Here, devil, have a rock.
that you want to give it to. I don't know what handshake does. I don't think I've ever done that.
He needs a good manicure.
I don't think that it would be productive to do that. So we'll give the devil the rock. And that's half of this puzzle. This room is laid out
Well,
like a hexagram.
that did something.
3 of the segments just darkened and 3 lightened.
That was so helpful the first time.
We will not be talking to Grace, I guess. Oh. So now there are 3 new things. What does this say?
Guess I gotta figure out what that says.
Such a helpful comment each time.
Here's another one for you. Agnosce naturem corporas tui.
Checking. Here, it reads, identify the nature of your body. Where are you?
Well, it ain't Kansas. I'll buzz you later.
Identify the nature of your body.
What's that supposed to mean?
What does that mean?
I don't want to break it. This place isn't exactly tolerant of mistakes.
So let's try stepping on this
All right,
pad.
here goes.
Hopefully it won't just open up and kill us.
Wow. Oh, I need one of these at home.
So that mirror shows, I guess, an idealized version of Gabriel. I think it showed him.
They say so.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And this one shows a decrepit version.
It says, identify the nature of your body.
Well, you're
That's
not a
odd.
vampire,
I don't
so-
see any reproductions of Michelangelo's David around here.
I still find this to be unnecessarily confusing. Do they mean that we should choose the old one because our body is frail? Because it also told us to choose the opposite, so I might choose the opposite of that,
Yeah.
which is that our body is
Ready
not
for
frail.
another one?
But we're not frail at the moment.
Agnosce
so-
naturem mentis tue.
Identify the nature of your mind. Want any hints?
No. Thank you.
Looks like a sun and what is that, a demon?
I guess.
And a yin-yang. Well,
It's a yin-yang symbol. The Templars must have picked that up in Asia. The sun. Okay. It's a stylized beast. I know what you're thinking. You might even be right.
so again, I don't know whether we're supposed to pick the opposite or the yin-yang, which is the duality thing.
Yeah.
But the answer turns out to be the yin-yang. And now 2 paths have opened.
The doors are open.
And
God.
we will take the left one. And we're not even given a choice.
There you are. Did you see that huge pendulum thingy? What was up with that?
Well, it was a pendulum.
Thank you for preparing the
Yeah.
way.
How
We
the
had
fuck
little
did you
trouble.
guys get
Glad
down
I
here?
could help. I guess we have to pick one of those.
We await your lead.
I don't mean to be rude, But I thought you were supposed to be the expert.
Never fear. We will be of use to you very shortly.
We're here for you, bud.
Seriously. How the fuck did they get... The only reason that we got there was because we grabbed onto the pendulum. If the pendulum stopped, how the hell did they get down? Grace will not talk to you during this part, I think. Anyway, there's a solid bridge. By the way, this is just the worst.
Right?
So
Well, it looks like the obvious choice. Why does that make me nervous?
I'm a little bit, like, forgiving of Jane Jensen.
I think it's a long way down.
On some things, but this like even the action portion in...
All right, guess we'll try this funky one.
Very well. We will.
No, I'll go first. I insist.
Thank you, Mr. Knight.
Even the action portion in Gabriel Knight 2, I thought was, like, okay, you know? Like, it was still a puzzle. There were a couple cheap parts of it. You had to kind of, like, rush to prevent Von Glauer from escaping. But this, like, I know exactly what to do, and I still only execute it, like, 1 out of 3 times successfully. So these tiles, like, disappear, and if the thing is, you see there, like,
Looks like he should have made it.
Right. Except it disappeared shortly after, and he won't jump. He'll jump anyway, but he won't jump where it is. He'll just, like, jump into the void.
Great.
And so that's my point, is that on any part where you kind of know exactly what to do and you still can't execute it and you're, like, reasonably competent at video games. Like, I'm not terrible at video games. Like, I've beaten some hard ones, and I still can't do this reliably. That's a bad game design. That's just something that should never, ever have happened. And
Jesus.
yeah, that's fun, right?
Yeah.
Right?
What does the solid bridge do?
I think it just collapses.
Oh.
You can't walk across that bridge.
Well, I mean, obviously, I just wondered what it did.
Yeah. The door that I didn't read the message. It said choose your path, and the path that you have to choose is the fucked up
crappy
tile
path.
one. Yeah. So I think I may have cut out even one try of this, and so I don't know what they were thinking really. Look, I even have to move the camera. Like, the camera's not in a logical... Oh, okay. I died there again. Do you think that this is a fair puzzle? If I had direct control over Gabriel, it would be one thing. Then I couldn't have anybody to blame. But I only get to tell him, hey, jump, kind of over here. And if that thing disappears, or if I wait too long, if I'm busy moving the camera, which is not exactly easy to control, then I'm dead. And
this seems like a huge bummer.
Yeah, you see how I just had to not click. It seemed like that was the right thing to do, was to click there. But in fact, I needed to wait for it to cycle again. Maybe there's a reliable way of doing this. I guess I always just, like, I do it once, and then I save my game and I never think about it again. Oh my fucking God.
Damn it.
This is awful. No, so I'm leaving this in just because, you know what?
You should have to suffer through this too.
Fuck you. If you want the real game experience, you can sit and watch Gabriel jump into a chasm
and do that scream thing
over and over again, stupidly. So there's 2 jumping puzzles in this. I don't know quite why they chose to do this. Oh my God, that is not helpful. Do you see that?
Yeah, the camera just, like, panned way the hell.
I don't know why that would happen. Like this,
because it's evil.
I don't think that the camera obeys collision detection most of the time, but there, you just saw it sail off into wherever. All right, I think I made it this time.
Get off the tile, Gabriel.
Oh, I know. You got to click again.
Oh my God.
Or you're fucking dead. How the hell did you guys do that? Holy shit.
Man, I hate that kind of thing.
No fucking kidding.
I was the one who...
Told you we would be useful.
All right. 3 vampires, 3
must
dudes.
get through the veil and save the child. We will hold these 3.
Are you
sure? You will.
No. Yes. Go on.
You brought a sword?
Well, maybe that's his,
How about a machine gun?
best weapon or whatever.
What?
Ooh, well, this looks promising.
All right. What's going on in here?
Look at that devil thing holding up the whatever he's holding up.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't factor into this.
Oh, zappy.
Curse you to hell. I should have known you for a treacherous liar.
I'm
Yeah,
a liar,
duh.
and you're a blood-sucking vampire. Now that we've got that straight,
I'm
give
rubber
me
and you're
the
glue.
kid.
Stop, or I'll rip him to pieces right now.
You can't do that. You've got to have time to savor a good vintage.
You ignorant dog. You piece of refuse. You have no idea who I am. I will shred your limbs and suck the marrow from your broken bones.
Yeah.
Yeah? Why don't you come out of there and give it your best shot, old man?
Domini inferi, exoditi precationum. By the power of Hermes and Solomon, I call upon the protector, Asmodeus, guardian
So that'll be
of
the big creepy
sacred
guy?
treasure.
That's him.
This one has come
look,
to
he's,
steal the treasure.
So there's Asmodeus. To get the points, you need to talk to Grace about him.
You have time to just, hey Grace, what's up with this creepy guy?
Right. So I use the amulet, and then I ask him.
What can you tell me about fighting a demon?
What?
Yeah.
Demons are invulnerable except for one weak spot. The location varies. Oh, and someone had to have conjured it up. If you can hurt it, you're the conjurer.
Gotcha.
So as soon as that ends, it just locks up and you die.
Excellent.
So maybe there's a way to have that conversation such that won't happen, but if there is, I didn't find it. What we're gonna do is, anyway, you keep the points if you retry, so that's what I did there. You need to get over to this whatever it is. Is that a coffin? This is certainly a strange room. I don't know if I make it on this one. See, like, it's not actually responding to my commands. Did you see?
He seems to be just standing there.
And then it delayed, and then he did it anyway. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Anyway, use the talisman on Asmodeus. Then I used the dagger once. I used the dagger twice. I used the dagger 3 times, and then it finally registers. So if you're gonna make an action portion, how about make it fucking work?
Yeah.
That's just my only request.
It's holy blood. No. It's holy blood. Holy.
John Delancey kind of hamming it up there during his death scene a little bit, but okay.
Okay, so you should be able to grab that baby.
All right, pick up baby. Did they kill the vampires outside? I really hope they did. All right, good. Mostly he's
Christ.
fat.
Is he it? Is that the last of them?
I think so.
You have done very well. We owe you more than we can ever repay.
Just glad Charlie's okay.
Ah, he's unmarked, praise God.
Unfreaking believable. Those guys out there, they were like vampires.
Yep.
No. What's he up to? What is it?
Raise the lid.
Somebody's in this coffin. Who would that be, I wonder? This is the treasure, isn't it? This is the thing that's hidden in the temple. What did Mary Magdalene bring with her? And buried here?
Pack of smokes.
I don't believe that is what it is. This stimulates a premonition of some sort of vision in Gabriel of a crow. Crow landing on
Something dead.
Jesus, maybe? Yes, it does appear to be Jesus. And there's Gabriel.
You forgive me. I did not know.
Fucking white
May the
guys,
gods
man.
have mercy. I did not know. You are already forgiven. Please,
All right, cool.
is there anything I can do? For your family, perhaps?
You could not nail them to crosses.
Use the power
I
of
will
your
need a
pecs.
service from one of your descendants, if you will allow it. Will you be a servant for the light? Yes. Anything. Then raise the end of your sword to my lips.
Well, you might be able to guess what's about to happen here.
Oh, the handle end?
Yeah. So that's the talisman. The
Carry the gold with you. It will protect you from evil. Now go in peace and love.
if you can make a little bit more gold like that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah. So, what's in the
God,
box?
why doesn't he say something?
It's Jesus's body.
Oh.
It is over. God be praised. Everyone is safe.
They are? Are you sure? Where are you going?
To the Master. Goodbye, dear one. You must take very good care of yourself now.
Goodbye.
Oh. What does that
Remember,
mean?
When one path to your destiny is blocked, another will.
Does that mean she got knocked up or something?
That does seem to be a fair assumption, doesn't it?
Gross.
Well, that's what happens when you have unprotected sex with Gabriel. You get knocked out. This is a life lesson, people. Don't do it.
Not even once.
Not even once. Do not have unprotected sex unless you want a baby. Rhythm method is not effective. Yeah. That's Jesus, alright. I guess, I don't know why they carried his body there.
I don't know why they're gawking at it like that. I mean, shouldn't they close that thing again?
It looks like Amelia's about to move it.
Oh.
So much for that Shroud of Turin theory.
Obviously he's in that shroud.
I'm a little confused. Did the Easter thing happen? Or not?
Well, they don't really... Do they say what happened after the Easter thing?
Well, his body's there.
Maybe he was like, hey guys, and then he went back to his grave. He was
Oh.
like, dead again. I just wanted y'all to know
Oh, is that what happened?
that I could do this.
Okay.
My Christian Catholic education may be wanting in some respects.
No, I believe that in the myth he goes up to heaven. He doesn't remain on earth.
He ascends bodily to heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think that he went back and got in a
What
box.
is it? Something is wrong, yes?
None of us could sleep.
I came over to see if anyone knew. I felt so strange tonight.
For heaven's sake, let the man speak.
The baby is safe.
What baby?
That is fabulous news. But who?
Tell him, Mose.
Gabriel? But where are you going? I have something to tell you.
What?
All of the things I said before about wanting to know you, to be with you. You must think I only wanted information. It is not true. I was so worried about you tonight. It made me realize how much I meant it.
I don't care.
Yes.
I know. Why would we give a shit?
I'm just starting to realize how much I didn't mean it. Excuse me?
Gabriel!
That seemed unnecessarily harsh.
Yeah, he could have just been like, no thank you.
But,
Grace!
yeah. We
Grace,
didn't...
you'll never believe.
Grace is not in the room. So, no farewell conversation at the end of this game with Grace and Gabriel. Grace has decided, screw this, I'm going to live with monks and have my baby, I guess? I don't know. So, of course, at the time, we all kind of thought, well, this story will never be resolved. Now I think maybe a Gabriel Knight 4 will happen. I don't know how many copies of the remake they made. but I'm guessing that it was enough that they may, given that Sierra's been I don't know, Activision decided to resurrect the Sierra label, and they worked with Jensen, even though they gave her very little money, to remake the first game. So maybe we will see a Gabriel Knight 4, which will resolve what happens now that Gabriel is a baby daddy.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think about Gabriel Knight 3?
I can't get over how crappy everything looks. Everything it's unbelievably ugly. There's a story, whatever.
The story is
fine.
I want to note that this came a few years before the Da Vinci Code, so it's not a ripoff of that. It may
be a ripoff of the same thing that the Da Vinci Code is a ripoff of.
Right. They were never sued for that, but the Da Vinci Code was.
Well, because the Da Vinci Code was way bigger.
Charity James. I think Charity James did a good job. There's Jennifer Hale.
Seemed fine.
As Madeline Bouthane. Billy West as Emilio Bozzo was kind of a curveball. I wasn't expecting that. And John Delancey was Excelsior Montreux. Jesus was played by Tom Kane. Okay. I don't know why Billy West was in this. He a very famous voice actor, Ren and Stimpy and all that. He I thought Charity James did a good job. I didn't think that at the time there was this themystica.com. You could go on there and it was like an online version of Sydney.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah. I don't know. I think given that Le Serpent Rouge ended up being like, there's so much of it that they actually did take from real life. Like those parchments are actually from real life. I don't know. I feel a little bit better about the game. I don't know. I appreciate it a little bit more. I'm not great on the whole like Gabriel is part of a. It's like directly related to Jesus, you know.
Well,
by way of that gold. I don't know.
Right.
So his ancestor, who was apparently a white dude, were there white dudes? In the Middle East.
Well, maybe wasn't he crucified more in Romish areas?
Not that I know
the Roman
of.
Empire. Well, Pontius Pilate was Roman, wasn't he?
He was, but I thought he was a foreign.
Oh, like it was
minister.
Part of like the outer reaches of the empire. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I don't know how I feel about that. The weird thing is that haven't we consistently been told that Catholicism in this world is the true religion? Mm-hmm. Right, like in Gabriel Knight 2, they specifically appeal to God to intervene. Or something, right, in the church. We directly make an appeal to the Madonna that she will intervene and we will be able to take the heart from the urn, or the manuscript from the urn. And this sort of upends that, you know? This is saying, well, no, Catholicism really isn't right. That Jesus wasn't conceived or born in the manner that the church says, and then in fact it's this alternate thing. I don't know. It kind of feels to me like the lore wasn't really consistent, but I guess it doesn't really bother me. I don't know. I thought the whole thing was kind of silly, but not bad. I mean, it was fine.
Seems fine.
And then
we're not so. I mean, it's a game. We don't have to believe it.
If they had made it like Grim Fandango, with 3D characters on hand-drawn backgrounds, I think we would. Might have
aged a little better.
I don't think we would say that it needed to be redone.
Like if they had used more of their polygons on people.
Right. I mean,
that would have been good.
They're remaking Grim Fandango, but I saw the side-by-sides. I'm like, you know what? It doesn't look that much better. I'm glad that they're releasing it so people can play it on newer platforms and stuff. But it looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they had just done, or even if they had just done what The Longest Journey did, but like I said, I think that was a Sierra management thing. And then what I also think is that shortly after this was when they had, what was it called? Chainsaw Friday, where people went into work and they just fired everybody.
Oh, nice.
Sierra just canned, like, everyone who worked at Sierra Online just got completely fired. And all, their assets were sold, and the studio was no more. Just grossly mismanaged. And things like this, and I believe it was King's Quest 8, if I've got that wrong, I'm sorry, were misadventures into the 3D space. Sierra never did that well. They never got into that. I don't know whether they just didn't have the technology to do it, whether they bit off more than they could chew. I don't think this game was reviewed very well when it came out, because it was around the time when adventure games in popular media started to be sort of pariahs, and that continues until this day. You'll see adventure games released and they'll get like a 4 out of 10 on GameSpot.
Oh, I don't pay attention to reviews. I just play stuff I like.
Well, I think that there are far too many games that come out to do that. So it's interesting because a mediocre AAA shooter can come out and get a 6 out of 10 or a 7. And a mediocre adventure game comes out and gets like a 3 or a 4. It's an interesting thing. I don't know whether it's changing, but anyway, that was around that time, and look, I mean, the game has problems. Tim Curry is not. I don't think about it as harshly as I did at the time. I was like, oh God, this is really awful. I think in retrospect, it's only the first hour of the game or so that's really pretty bad, and it
only
gets
the first hour.
Well, and Charity James is good throughout. I liked Grace. I look, out of 3 games, you play as Grace in the second 2 games more than half the time. Grace is really the main character of the series. Gabriel is kind of a one-dimensional character. Grace's portions are always the more interesting ones.
Yeah.
And she was given the more interesting thing to do. It was Le Serpent Rouge. It was designed around the real document to some extent, which I think is fairly impressive. If you watch my bonus episode, you'll see what the similarities and differences were. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty inventive. Nowhere is that highlighted. When I went to research that, I was starting from scratch. They never pointed out how well she really weaved that in with kind of like real life.
So you updated the Wikipedia entry then?
If you go onto the Wikia for Gabriel Knight, you'll find quite a few articles written by myself.
Excellent.
Oh yes, a great use of time, by the way.
Like lately or back in the day or
no, I like 2 weeks ago.
That's awesome. I did not know you were doing that.
Yeah, it's completely worthless activity.
For this, you earned your PhD in physics.
In physics. So that's it. That's the end of the Gabriel Knight series.
For now.
We'll see. There was the remake. I didn't think that it was handled very well, if I'm being honest. People have differed with me on that. I've gotten some comments, as you do. I just think that they've never really made Gabriel an interesting enough character. Maybe his family is important, but like I said, Grace is really the main character of the series, and the game needs to revolve around Grace.
Yeah, Gabriel doesn't really go anywhere. He's pretty much the same kind of, even so he gets turned into a werewolf and back, and it doesn't really change him in any meaningful way.
I wouldn't say so. Yeah, I mean, the depiction of Gabriel between 2 and 3, it's hard because what Jane Jensen said was that in the second game she had to like write extra shit because there wasn't gameplay, which why wouldn't you put the same amount of effort into that, regardless of how much gameplay there is? But the portrayal of Gabriel was so different between what Tim Curry was doing and what
Dude with the hair.
Dean Erickson did. Now, I don't know whether Jane Jensen was, I believe she was there when he was doing it, and I assume that they gave Dean Erickson some latitude. And the problem is that the character that Dean Erickson portrayed was just more likable.
Yeah, he was more of a person and less of a cartoon.
That's right. And that was the reviews of the remake of Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers, came out. And many people said, this guy just seems out of place because it was a character written in 1994. This game was 1999, and we're in 2014. And to a certain extent, I don't know whether Gabriel was ever really somebody that we would recognize. But nowadays, it's just cartoonish. It's silly, and quite frankly, he's just not likable. He consistently sexually harasses people. He's just not very interesting.
He's kind of a dummy.
Yeah, he doesn't.
A little bit.
That's right. Yeah, he rejects the ability to be didactic. He's uninterested in that. He's a man of action in an adventure game where action is not.
Yeah, it's a peculiar choice.
But is he really even a man of action? Not really. He in 2, he gets by on his wits in conversation. He figures out the mystery while talking to people, and he does it in a kind of a sly way. That's Gabriel to me. And it's just remaking him in the vein of Indiana Jones just doesn't work. And besides that, Indiana Jones doesn't have a personality either. That's just that series is built on image and prevarication, on bullshit things that you're not supposed to pay attention to because they're so stupid. And making him like that doesn't work. I don't think. So anyway, I hope that Gabriel Knight 4 comes out. I hope that it is a more mature work from a more mature Jane Jensen and a character that is hopefully moved into the new century would be good.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right.